So, being the last Blockbuster in existence, what made you think of going to Comic Cons with this experience?
Well, I would love to say that I'm always the one with the really good ideas, but I am the smartest one to say yes to the really good ideas. So, Julie Gilbert, who actually runs a company that does artist transportation at music festivals all over the country, came up to Bend and approached me and said, "Hey, I love your store, I love your story, and I would love to do something with you. And I've been to some conventions and I've seen these little pop up things. What do you think about doing that?" And so this was kind of her idea. I had thought about it before, but I really didn't have the means or I didn't really know what to do. We're the last podcaster, so we don't have a big corporation behind us. We don't have, endless amounts of money to be able to pour out to try to figure out how to do these things. So anyway, it was her great idea. So she had me fly out to Kentucky. That was the first store we went to in Ashland. It was an abandoned Blockbuster. It had been abandoned since 2010. Still had squirrel nests in it and all kinds of fun stuff. And we were able to get inside and access it. And there were shelves and signage and counters, and it was just really kind of interesting to be able to step in and take a look at that. So that's kind of how the journey started. And with Julie's company, because they do the transportations at music festivals all over, they're able to go to different cities all year long and collect movies. So she's going to, garage sales and thrift stores and people's attics and just, wherever she can find movies to bring in to help create this so that we're able to sell movies and, kind of make it look like a Blockbuster store.
So, the collection of everything that you have for sale this weekend is kind of a conglomeration of a collaborative effort. It's not just stuff you're selling from your store directly.
Correct. And it was so this is our second year doing it. Last year we did it about this time, actually, was the first time we set up in Orlando. So it definitely is a collaboration of bringing everything together and a year long journey of finding everything. And you have to remember that this is the beginning of the season for us. So we've spent the last year, collecting things for this year, and then we're always, I know that yesterday we're out here at local thrift stores buying more movies and getting more stuff to put on the shelves. On the way home they're going to be stopping in all the different little towns on their way back. So it is definitely a fun adventure. So if you ever want to be on a scavenger hunt for movies, anybody that's really big movie buffs are going to love that aspect of knowing. It's kind of like you're like an archaeologist of movies, and it's kind of a fun thing. But yeah, no, it's definitely a collaboration, and there are racks and different signage and stuff that's from my store. So we've got things from Alabama and Kentucky and Pennsylvania and Bend, Oregon and Texas, and we have things from all over. So it's kind of neat to be able to save some stuff and have as much original things as possible. I mean, the reader board in and of itself is amazing because that's exactly how we found it in Pennsylvania. So it's like a little time capsule. So it's really neat to be able to pull all this stuff together. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, as a physical movie collector myself, I wish you guys were located where we are so I could frequent your store. How do you find adapting to continually compete with streaming services? Like, is it getting difficult at this time, or is the price hikes making it way easier for you? Or
Well, I gave up on trying to compete with the streaming services years ago because there's really just no competition, right? They have the ability to do things that we don't have to do. And it is kind of nice now because it's not so much about the price hikes as it is the amount of streaming services. So at the beginning, it was Netflix. And there wasn't a bunch of other people. Now you have Hulu and you have Disney Plus and you have, MGM and you have Paramount and you have everybody's got a streaming service now. So no longer can you just go to one, $15 a month service to find all the movies. Now you have 4 or 5 different. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in my household, we probably have 7 different streaming services. And between me and my husband and my sons, we have so much stuff. And I think that is the cost increase. That it doesn't matter that Netflix raised their costs, it's the fact that you have to have so many services to get what you want. So that's kind of difficult. However, being the last Blockbuster, we get donations at our location, weekly. We have people that are always bringing in physical media to us. So that's really helpful. New releases, we still go out on Tuesdays and buy them. I know you've probably seen the documentary of me doing that, and I still do that. And my store manager works for me, Dan, also. Every Tuesday, one of us is out buying movies. So new releases is a little bit more difficult because that is where the streaming services have affected that, right? There, a lot of things are going directly to the streaming services. They're not making as much physical copies of things, and businesses. Best Buy stopped carrying them. Target stopped carrying them. So we have Fred Meyer, which is Kroger out here. So we can still go to Fred Meyer. We can still go to Walmart. There's also the problem of distribution centers. So we had a huge one on the West Coast called Ingram, and they went out of business. And so now that they're out of business, the one standout distributor that I have is in Florida. Well, I'm an independent now. I don't have those, like we talked about earlier, the gobs of money. So to meet their minimum order amounts to order my new releases from them is just not feasible. So that's why I'm back buying things. So it's not just affecting me. There are small mom and pops all over the country that have that same problem. I just get the big name.
Right, right. So that actually leads me into my next question quite well, is who is it on your staff, and how do you guys decide to curate the selection that you guys have, so that way you do have those important choices you can't find anywhere?
So that's actually also a collaboration because, all of us, well, and you said, did you say that you had actually worked at a video store, or are you just a video collector? Okay, so
I do collect them. I have
so-
like 800 Blu-rays.
So when you're out talking to people about movies, right? Everybody loves movies, but everybody loves all different genres of
Right.
movies. There's no just one thing. Like, I am not a drama girl. I don't like to cry. I want to either be scared, and not blood and guts scared, but a good scary movie, or something makes me laugh. That's kind of where I go. Somebody else likes drama. One of my sons loves dramas. I mean, he can watch any of them, and he doesn't mind all that. So I mean, everybody has a different genre they love. So that's the collaboration part, right? I have a staff full of people with knowledge who have a differences of opinions on movies, and we get into pretty fun and heavy debates sometimes about whether or not something's a really good movie. However, it brings in that so that we can all kind of take that in and build our inventory based on what everybody wants and not just what one person likes.
So looking into the future, your Blockbuster in particular has kind of catapult you almost to celebrity status. So like, where do you see things continuing to go for you?
Oh goodness, and that's the funny part. When they were filming the documentary, they did not tell me how much I was going to be in it because they know that I would have pulled the plug and been like, nope, not going to do it. It has definitely been a whirlwind of all kinds of things, and I wish, again, I am not the one with all the genius ideas. I'm just smart enough to say yes. So I have a wonderful group of people that work with me. I just get to be the face of the store, and so that I'm very privileged and honored that everybody trusts me with that. But I don't know. I'm a grandma. I mean, it is pretty cool that my 11-year-old grandson can see me on Netflix. Well, it's not Netflix, on Tubi or wherever it's streaming now, where he'll see me on doing like a news thing or something, and he thinks that's pretty cool. But I don't know. As far as me personally, I don't know. It'll be kind of nice when we retire to be able to just make my beanies at home and not have to make them for the store.
Yeah.
As far as Blockbuster goes, I hope that we have a few more years. Kin's always famous. When I started in 04, every few years I'm like, well, how long do you think this is going to last? Oh, we got a couple more years. Oh, we got a couple more years. And I remember in 2018 when we closed our Redmond location, and right before Alaska announced that they were closing, I was like, I don't know if we have a couple more years. We may have another year here. And then they closed, and now we have a couple more years. And so I honestly feel like every year we have something new. Now we're doing this. We're constantly recreating and reinventing the things that we can do. We may have a couple more years. So it's good.
Yeah, I hope there are more than just a couple, personally. So I'm going to put you on the spot for the last question, because usually when I talk to movie people, they can't think of it either. But what's your favorite film?
So everyone's going to tell you my favorite film is The Shining. I am a huge Stephen King fan. I have all kinds of Shining stuff. I love X-Files. I have my I Want to Believe poster up in my office. But by far, probably my favorite movie would be Goonies. I love Goonies. Being an Oregon girl, gotta love Goonies. So.
All right, there you have it. So that is the Blockbuster experience down here at Indiana Comic-Con. I'm Will Beeman, the production manager for CTV, and thank you for checking out this interview.